I introduced queens from Corey Stevens in this video. They're virgin queens, so you need to do extra manipulations to get them accepted. So I knocked down a bunch of queen cells. I wait a few days later, the queen cages are duct taped over, and then I release the queens, and here we go. I'm about to install Corey Stevens VSH virgins into this hive. It's been queenless since Sunday. Not this Sunday, the one before. So for a long time. They're not going to be happy, so I did light a smoker, and that should calm them down some. Well, of course I stand corrected. They're not that mad at me. I had a frame of dead brood from one of my other splits, and this was really strong, so I went ahead and gave it this dead frame of brood. Actually, no, this is alive, I think. It's hard to tell. I think it is. I think that was the dead frame. But I missed a lot, so I'm going to go in and destroy the rest of them here. They're all up in here. Up there. That one I think's done, but squish it just to be safe. And I'm going to come back tomorrow and feed this hive. Feed them sugar water, just to help with the queen introduction. The queens ended up coming a day late because the shipping was delayed, but they're all alive and in great shape. And I'll shake this frame off too, because I bet you there could be some queen cells on here too that I missed. I'm really surprised how calm the bees are right now. They should be eating me alive, but they're not, so thankful for that. All right, here is my queen. I put some duct tape on the cage. I'll take off the duct tape probably on Sunday. I'm just gonna push her into the comb. You wanna face her upwards in case the workers die, so she can still get out. It's not a huge problem because I'm taking off the duct tape. So she won't be able to get out for the next few days. But if I was trying to just directly release her, then I would definitely want to face her up to make sure if the attendants die, that she's able to get out. I'm gonna take this for another nuke that needs a few bees, and then I'll come back and close them up. When I release her on Sunday, I'll make sure one last time that there's no queen cells. If there is a queen cell, then they won't accept her, so I want to make sure they're all gone, or they're not very likely to, at least, even if it's theoretically possible. Still struggling to get these feeders right, but I'll come back tomorrow and feed them. I missed a bunch of queen cells on this frame, fortunately. None of them hatched. And the reason I know that is because if a virgin hatched, she would have gone and killed all the other virgins in the hive. So there's no virgin in here yet. And there's a chance I'd hear a piping as well if there was a virgin. So I will install that queen. And hopefully they'll accept her when I let her out on Sunday. I really have no idea if they will or not. So just have to hope for the best. There's their food frame. Brood. I don't see any queen cells, but you never know until you shake off, so. It's just packed with nectar. Trying to see if it's from today. Yeah, there's probably a decent nectar flow going here. I'm gonna look. Wow, so many queen cells. So that's a lot of queen cells. I went in a while ago and destroyed a bunch, but they're incredibly hard to spot. That is always the case with queen cells, unfortunately. All right. I'm gonna steal that frame of bees for a small hive and install this queen. That'll wrap it up for this video. I'm gonna do this on 3 more hives because I have 6 virgins total, and I will see you in the next one. All right, so I fed this hive a few days ago. They've drank all of the feed. And I installed the queen. This was on Wednesday, which was the something that I can't remember because I don't know dates. It's a good looking population. I gave this hive a dead frame of brood from another split, which is a lot to deal with. So if they're having trouble with it, I can just pull it out. And so they won't have to deal with it. So I don't know what's going on here. What? I don't know how they can still have queen cells in here. Honestly, I'm mystified. I gave them an extra frame of brood. I guess some of it was alive, but I'm almost certain it was dead. So I'm gonna have to go through this whole box and shake everything off to make sure that there's not any queen cells in here. I mean, I made the split 2 weeks ago. Well, actually even 15 days ago, so there should not be any chance for them to make a queen. But to be 100% certain, so here's a torn down queen cell. So I don't know what that's all about. Maybe I tore it down. I'm worried it's a virgin queen. And I'm gonna look in the sun for eggs to make sure I'm not missing anything. Absolute enigma. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, bees are confusing, but this is really up there for me. Just larva, or not larva, sorry, hatched brood and nectar. Oops. So, I'm not sure what the right move is here. I think I'm gonna go through all the frames, look for a virgin queen, and whoops, where'd the queen go? She must have fallen onto the bottom of the hive. Yep. She's sitting on the bottom of the hive. She dropped off the frame. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go through here, shake off all the bees, make sure there aren't any more queen cells, and then I'll show you when I release the queen. She's down here. Make sure she's still doing okay. trying to see her. Yeah, she's still alive in there. Huh. The bees tried to chew off the duct tape, but they couldn't get in there. So I'm gonna go through, shake off all the frames, make sure for the 100th time that there are no queen cells, and then I will take off the tape, put her back onto the frame, and let them chew her out. All right, so I don't know for sure what happened, but my best guess is that when I put in that frame that I thought was all dead brood, there was actually some live larvae on there somehow. There was like only a handful of bees on the frame. So I have no idea how it survived, but it did, and then the bees made some queen cells from it. They're loving this queen. I don't think you can see it on camera, but they're all over her, so that's a good sign. So I'm just gonna take one more look on this frame of dead brood and make sure that there are no viable larvae or eggs. I'll be right back. All right, yeah, so there's no more viable larvae or eggs. Those are the queen cells. I made the split a week ago, so everything should be old enough anyways for me to release the queen. But Corey said I didn't really need to tape her after the hive was queenless for 10 days, but thankfully I did, because they probably wouldn't have accepted her since they did have a little bit of larvae. So I made a mistake, but I got lucky, because I taped the cage when I didn't really need to. So I put on 2 pieces of tape just to make sure the bees couldn't get in there, and they certainly tried. But there we are. She's alive right in this cage. There, yep. And I'm going to stick her down here. You can just see the bees, they love her. They were all over the cage just a minute ago. Now they're, of course, not doing it now that I'm saying they love her. But they seem to really like her. I'm gonna push her into the comb and come back probably in 12 to 14 days. Facing the cage up to make sure the workers, there are some dead workers in the cage that she's still able to get out. Here is one of their empty frames I gave them. So they should have a bunch of queen cells as well. Wow, they're dripping nectar, and I haven't fed them either. So hoping the honey flow's on, hard to know. I'm gonna check my other yard and see if the honey flow's on there. I think it's on here in the bees in my 2 colonies that I just checked. I think the issue is that they have a second deep that they're putting the brood into instead of the other one. So, yeah. So I see larvae in this frame, but it has been a week. It just makes me nervous. I don't know. I trust Corey, so if he says a week's good, then a week's good, but those larvae look like they're the perfect age. So I took this out of a hive that had a queen cell that had just emerged. It's not ideal to go in when they're a virgin, but I just quickly snagged this frame and they should be fine. So that'll fix any issues with potentially having larvae in there. But I'm gonna take one more quick look, make sure I didn't miss a queen, because that would explain why there's larvae. They also had queen cells. If they wouldn't have queen cells, they had larvae. So it's just kind of a crapshoot. It doesn't make any sense to me how they would have larvae, but that's that young. I don't know. Corey, if you're watching this, just let me know what you think. Like, the larva was really small. It looked like larvae I would graft. And I made these splits on Sunday last week. So that's 7 days. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of a mystery to me. What's going on with that? But there's the queen. And I'll hope for the best for her. So I took the duct tape off on all 6 queen cages and I let them introduce. I came back 12 days later and only 3 out of the 6 had gotten mated. One of them went laying workers, so she wasn't accepted in that one, I would guess. Then the other 3 of them got mated, and then the other 2, I think just died on their mating flight and didn't come back, but I think they were accepted because they didn't go laying worker like the other one. So not a great take, 3 for 6. It was terrible weather, so it kind of makes sense. But I used those 3 queens to requeen some of my other hives. And once I get a paint pen that's orange, I'm going to mark all of them orange so I know that they're Corey VSH virgin or VSH queens. So, you know, mixed bag, but nothing Corey did wrong. It's just the weather didn't end up going my way. So, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.